How's it going, guys? So, I just got done watching the face-off between Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko. Usually, I don't review these kind of things. In fact, most of the time, I don't even watch them because, to be honest, these face-offs, they tend to be completely stupid, and I really I don't usually pay them any attention or take them seriously at all because, usually with these things, you have people like David Hay and Derek Chisora and whatnot, and it's just all, it's all thug shit and it's all trash talk and it's all nonsense. You've got your Derek Chisora, I'm coming for you, I'm coming to take your soul, and I punch so hard. There's nobody in the division that punches as hard as me. You can't find anyone that's like me, and I'm going to put you in the ambulance. And it's usually full of that kind of crap. It's usually just guys talking bollocks over a table, and you have some stupid staged event where they pretend to fight, and it's usually just a load of shit to try and sell the fight. And I've just got no time for that as a boxing fan. I would rather just watch the fight personally. But I paid attention to this face-off because Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, these are two guys that don't tend to engage in that kind of behaviour. These are guys that, they just get it over with. They just get in the ring and they fight, and, they tend to just keep it low-key with the trash talk and all the bullshit. So that was why I decided to watch this one, because I was thinking, at least these guys, at least they'll be a bit more coherent than usual. And I have to say, I actually enjoyed this one. I think that Anthony Joshua and Vladimir, they both had a point to everything that they said. They basically said all the stuff that the fans had been talking about. Vladimir is obviously the old guy, the master. He's bringing a lot of experience and wisdom to the fight. Whereas Anthony Joshua, he's bringing youth, energy, hunger, determination. And, you have to make him the favourite based on the fact that Vladimir has been out for so long, and the fact he lost his last fight, and Vladimir even brought that up, and he mentioned himself. He says, "Yeah, I'm the underdog in this fight, and I don't know myself whether being out for so long will be an issue or not." And I enjoyed listening to the guys. Joshua, he stated towards the end of the whole thing that he is without a doubt going to go for the knockout. He feels, he believes in himself. He's confident. He wouldn't have taken the fight if he wasn't confident that he would win, and win by knockout, win in style. And one fight that people have been critical about in regards to Joshua, when they try to talk about his flaws, is the Dillian Whyte fight. Now, the Dillian Whyte fight was pretty much the only fight in Anthony Joshua's career where he ever faced any adversary, because he got hurt in the second round from a counter left hook. And Anthony Joshua mentioned that fight, and he said basically after that fight, I was disappointed in my performance because, I wanted to win in much better fashion than I did. And the reason why at least in my opinion, the reason why he got hurt in the fight is because he got cocky. The first round was just too easy for him. And, in the second round, he just went out there and ended up getting fucking... He ignored defense. He thought he had the guy beat. He was laughing at him. He was sticking his tongue out at him, and he ended up getting hit with a counter left hook. So it happens to a lot of fighters. They face a moment in their career where they think they're invincible, and then they get a reality check, and that's what happened there. And I like that Anthony brought that up. Now, Vladimir, to me, some of you guys might disagree, but to me, he doesn't look confident. I remember the face-off with Vladimir and David Hay several years ago. I remember when I watched that one. And in that one, I remember watching that and thinking, Vladimir is not worried about David Hay at all. Okay, he knows damn well that he's winning this fight. He was just so confident, he was leading everything. He was always the first to speak. He was always, staring at David Hay in the face long periods of time, and he wasn't worried. You could tell that he wasn't nervous at all. He was smiling the whole time, and he knew that David Hay didn't have the size or the ability to deal with him. He knew that was a fight that he was gonna cruise, basically. So, but Anthony Joshua, Vladimir, to me, I think that he knows that this is gonna be the toughest challenge of his entire career, because, like I said, he mentioned about the long layoff. He mentioned about how, he's going to be the challenger this time, which is something he hasn't experienced in over a decade. So I think Vladimir understands the challenge here, and he's getting all the sparring that he can get. You know, he's doing what he can. He's preparing to his best, but I don't know. I get the feeling for this one that Vladimir kind of sees this fight as a passing of the torch situation. I think that he understands that there's a very, very good chance he could lose this fight, and if he does lose the fight, I think he, you know, is kind of hoping that Anthony Joshua becomes a good role model for the sport, and carries that heavyweight title with pride. And I think that's what Vladimir's thinking, because he even mentioned towards the end of the whole thing that he says, when you lose, I'll help you to rebuild, but if you win, I'll congratulate you. And, you know, I think he seems to genuinely like Joshua, and I think he seems to genuinely respect him. And, yeah, I don't think there's any animosity between these two. There doesn't need to be any trash talk, because, you know, it's one of these fights that's going to sell, you know, no matter whether there's trash talk or not, because these are two big heavyweights. These are guys that you know are going to give it their all. You know, that both guys, both guys have a lot to gain, and both guys have a lot to lose, especially Joshua, because if he wins this fight, there are some massive fights for him in the future. I mean, a big unification with the likes of Joseph Parker and Deontay Wilder. You know, some big domestic fights with, you know, you've got like guys like Daniel Dubois coming through, a lot of Hughie Fury too, a lot of young British heavyweights on the rise. So clearly there are some massive bucks to be made for Anthony Joshua should he win this fight. And obviously with Tyson Fury talking about a comeback, I really do think that Anthony Joshua wants to shut Tyson Fury up, because Fury's talked a lot of shit about him over the years, and Joshua knows, because he's sparred with Tyson Fury in the past, and I think he knows that he can win that fight, and that's a fight that he does want. It's a fight I'd like to see too, if Fury makes a comeback and gets himself into shape. But yeah, I think the closer the fight gets, and I've always favoured Joshua, ever since this fight was first signed, I've always favoured Joshua for the win, but the closer the fight gets, the more I favour Joshua for the win. I think he knocks Klitschko out, and I think he will go on to be heavyweight champion. So anyway, I've got to go, guys, so let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.